Greetings and welcome, my fellow Aries. Hey, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for deciding to listen to this recording. This is your reading for November 2019. So welcome, sit back, relax and see what's coming your way. We're using these three decks of cards for this reading. November, we're moving in towards the end of 2019. So this is a time when you should be thinking about setting your intentions for 2020. The 20s are a brand new decade. It's something to ponder upon. So numerologically, there'll be a lot of shift of energy coming in. We are moving into even more dense or faster timeline scenarios. So there is a lot of action going on for everyone at every different level. I would hesitate to say, but it's probably the truth in as much that these are not easy times that we are traversing through. So they do require a good degree of mettle, determination, thinking through and stamina. That aside, for November, we have Mercury going direct. It's the universal month of the number 5. We have the 1111 portal. A full moon in Taurus, which could be very grounding and very good for finances, families, homes, things like redecorating, thinking of mortgages or borrowing money for homes or for saving, for nest eggs. Also Neptune goes direct. Now that's only a few of the basic scenarios that are actually happening in November. We'll also be gearing ourselves up toward the lunar eclipse, which is in December on the 26th. Some of the other messages I got for you guys were good fortune and luck are around. Now, you'd have to call on this energy and you would have to actually make it happen. But there's a possibility for some of you that good fortune and luck may be on the cards in November. I would utilize the green energy, thinking of green, like wearing green clothes or energizing the heart or eating green foods. You can also utilize some of the green crystals such as ruby with zostite or green aventurine, the fluorite. I've got a lot of beautiful green crystals. It's one of my favorite colors. There's all sorts of different greens. That's an aquamarine. This is a fluorite. That's another fluorite. It's a multicolored one. That's another fluorite, which is a green as well. Now there are lots of different greens, cryosphaes, preonite, which is the same as my bracelet that I've got on. So greens are very nurturing, they're very loving, they're very gentle, supportive, healing energy stones. But the other thing that I picked up just right now when I am doing these readings, so not for November but for October, is that there's a lot of green energy coming through the air. So angels that work with green energy as well might be beneficial. So of course one of those angels that are so well known for the green ray and the healing energy and positive energy is Raphael. So some of you may want to call upon that angel that angel's energy or the light ray of green during the month of October. Now, some of the other messages that came were that the moon cycles will be beginning to affect you, the eclipse on December the 26th. It may bring up restless feelings. And then there was another message that said you may have a decision to make. Take the time to get clear insight before you make this decision, because it is some sort of crossroads. It's a direction that if you make this one, you'll be going in that direction, and if you take the other option, you'll be going in a totally different direction. So you need to have some insight. But then this final message came, and it said, self-adventurous travel filled with cosmic coincidence is a certainty. I really like that little saying at the end, so you could ponder upon that as well. Self-adventurous travel filled with cosmic coincidence is a certainty. So exactly what that's about, maybe we'll find out. We will wait and see. So let's see, this is for Aries for November 2019. What would you like to show and tell Aries? there's the travel card straight away. So some of you may be traveling in November, and it could be by plane. It could be quite quick and sudden. It may even be unexpected for some of you. It could be for a holiday, or it could be around a creative project of some time. It may involve traveling to areas like this depicted on the card itself, or it may be more to do, if it's to do with work or employment or an opportunity in those lines, it might be more of a city type atmosphere. Then you've got the 5. We know it's the numerological month of 5. That can sometimes mean 5 people are indicating or referencing something going on, and sometimes this means not necessarily arguments, but it can mean that there's competition. Sometimes there's competition for jobs or applications for jobs or things that you want. So let's say you were wanting to apply for something, or you are wanting to buy something, then other people might show interest as well, and so you could be having to put your hand in and put your best foot forward. So if you are presenting yourself for anything or to anyone in these months ahead, you have to do it to the best that you can possibly make it. So present yourself well, and this includes physically. So dress appropriately if you're going for a job interview, or if you're trying to meet a new partner, or if you're meeting a public person or a political person like the Prime Minister or something. Dress appropriately for each occasion. That was another message that came through, because I know we get a bit lax in today's society, and sometimes we can be a bit flippant with our clothing or the way we present ourselves. But I think this could be a month where it would pay dividends to look appropriate for whatever it is that you're doing, that you're wanting success around. That seems a strange message, but there we are. The next card that came out was the 3 of Pentacles, and this often denotes success of some type, or reward, or an award. So sometimes attending somewhere where you get a certification given to you or handed out, or an award, it is often associated with our career sector. So this could be a promotion, or an accolade, or an acknowledgement of some work you have done. It could be something like a thesis being finished or printed. It could be a doctorate. It could be exam qualifications coming through to say you've had success. It can also be collaborating with 3 people. You may be put into a team of 3 in a job, one way or another. You may have, it may be a period of 3, so 3 weeks or 3 months that this activity or acclamation is coming into effect. It sometimes does mean a pay increment or money coming in that is a little bit more than usually expected. All of those cards donate. I don't think they're donating anything, but all of the cards designate a feeling of other people. This one can be meeting new people, and sometimes 8, although that's not often referenced with the card, but it can be that new people come into your life very suddenly and unexpectedly. So these are 5 people, and this can be collaborating with new people. So it seems to me as if November could be a busy month for you guys, and that people are somehow involved. So let's dig a little bit deeper here for Aries for November. Well, that's lovely too. The Ace of Pentacles has come out. Again, you know, handed money to you. There's money in the air somewhere. Now, I'm not going to take all of these cards that came out, but one that did flip up that way, which I really don't like this guy, and if you've been following my readings for long enough, I think you'll understand. He is the trickster. I might attach at the end of this video a little kind of energy reading I did yesterday that came to me while I was out walking with Stevie, and it was all about the energy of October. So a lot of you will listen to this video in October, I'm aware, but it talked about green energy having 2 sides, and one of them was the trickster energy, and this is the trickster card. So sometimes when he turns up, there are people around who are not being honest, they're not above board, they have deceit on their mind. They can be at any level. They can come in at the personal level, interpersonal, or through work relationships or community. Now sometimes when he turns up, he can even be things that happen to you personally, like fraud, internet theft, things like that. So be careful with online banking or online purchasing of goods. Especially be careful with online dating if any of you are looking for new partners. And as I said before, this can indicate new partners over here, and it can be new romantic partners. If it's this guy here, ditch him as quick as hell, because he is one of the worst cards in the deck. But what he does tell us is to be very cautious in the month. So around that November, if you are interacting with a lot of people, be cautious of some of them, because some of them are not there for the right reason. Now, the other side of this card, like obviously everything in the tarot world and every realm, to be honest, there's a duplicity, or there's a double-sided story here. So sometimes this can be yourself behaving in this manner, so doing something that you know shouldn't be done. You know, you're doing something stealthily, underhand, under the cover or the guise of something else, so you could be hiding something. If you are, there is no doubt that it will be found. That's the other problem with this guy. He does get caught out. Now, the other thing with that Seven of Swords, I've noticed in the past that quite often when he turns up in readings, and yours is the first one he's turned up for the November readings, but I'll keep an eye on it for the rest of the readings to come. If he turns up a lot, it can mean a global, like a global internet issue where there's global hacking, or some sort of news comes out about a whole bunch of people being scammed, a whole bunch, and I've got a whole bunch of cards again. But a whole bunch of people being scammed, or businesses being scammed, you know, and literally a large amount of the population can be affected. But we'll wait and see. So we've had a lot of jumpers for you guys, and again, this is really too many to try and assimilate into the reading. But I'll take this one. He's upside down, the King of Pentacles. He is an earth sign person usually, and sometimes an older person. I think whether he's upside down or not may not be too relevant. He could be someone that you are interacting with, possibly someone that you are interacting with in a creative way, or in a career or work sector. And because remember, these were the wands up here, which can be often about career or work. He's kind of got himself positioned over here with this Ace of Pentacles. He may be tied up with something to do with this ace over here. He might be a person who either authorizes it, or he might be a person who puts a hold on it. So if he was a bank manager, he might say, well, I could grant you that loan, but I need a bit more documentation, or you need to save a little bit more. Or someone might be handing out some money for something, and it could be like a family inheritance, or a gift, or a grant, even like a university grant, and he could be like a dean who decides whether or not you get it. He could be like a family member as well, who also says, well, wait a minute, I want some of this. It just feels as though he might be involved somehow with some of the money, and that he might be holding on to it, or not necessarily putting restraints, but maybe extrapolating it out one way or another. If he's not to do with the finances, then he might be someone that you are possibly meeting, an earth sign person or an earth sign rising. I hope he's not associated with this guy over here. So just be a bit careful around dealing with money. Remember, I said in the very beginning that there was a possibility for good fortune and luck. Well, this luck is here, and you know, money is here. But this one, ooh, you know, he's a sod. Let's just see from these last few that came out of here. I just want to see if we can, rather than take the whole lot, just see if one shows itself up a little bit more. This is for Aries. Out of these few here, what would you like to put forward most? No, you're holding on to them. Just one. one or none. Ten of Wands. It's about sort of feeling as though you've had something on your shoulders, or you've come a long way, that you know, with the Ten of Wands, you can have learned a lot, you can have been carrying something for a while as if it's been a bit burdensome, but you are coming to a completion. That's the logical meanings for the card, for the Ten of Wands. We see in here now a lot of wands and a lot of blue. You know, if you look at all this blue in the reading, and blue is always about the throat chakra. And it was interesting at the very beginning, even though I've mentioned green, I saw blue in a card that I was working with for you guys. So I thought that communication might be really important. So I still think communication could be key for you in November. And it's prudent communication. And remember, communication is also written communication. So it's also about reading. It's also about listening and hearing things going on around you. So with this Ten of Wands, he's somehow tied up into all of this over here. And I don't know if this guy is. He could be someone at work who you have to watch out for, who could be causing a little bit of a ruckus, or back talking you, or setting you up to fail at something, or setting you up to take a fall. But if all of these ones here are associated and these two are slightly separate, there's a lot going on here around career or opportunities or knowledge or understanding or growth or change or awareness. And some of it could be have been going on for a long time, because you've got the 5, then you've got the 10. You know, there's a lot tied up in that parcel of cards, and it's also about creativity, because creativity and passionate things is often where we end up working, or, you know, where we gain our money from. There's a bundle of something going on. It may open itself up more in November. You may find that you have more options, that you have more directions, that you change directions, that you get told something, or that you get offered something. And this might be about, you know, in the beginning when I said you have a big direction to make and you needed to look, what did I say? I said you needed to take time to get clear insight about a decision you have to make. A lot of it is involved with these cards here. So a lot of it might be around whatever you're passionate about, your career moves, your finances, something to do with your finances, something that you may have been planning or working on for quite some time that you're thinking is due to grow or change or morph into something else. Let's see if these cards give us anything more to go on here. Oh, walking away. Well, that's definitely what a 10 is. A 10 is finishing and completing a cycle and preparing to walk away from something. Rest and rejuvenation. This is bringing in energy, healing, which could be beneficial for some of you. None of these cards really showed anything about the physical body, and certainly not indicating anything that needed attention. But this card straight away, the rest and rejuvenation, shows us, you know, he's sitting there receiving a lot of healing energy, and the healing comes through the top of his crown chakra and down through his head, then into the shoulders and round through the thorax and lower abdomen area. So some of these areas may need a healing energy for you. They may need releasing, they may need energizing, they may need activating, they may also need calming down. So for each of you, because this is just a general reading, you'll have to decide whether it's calming down or revving it up. But because the card says rest and rejuvenation, for some of you it's like a healing after having something done or something released. So there's a feeling of release. We've got the walking away card in the background over here. We know we've come to the end of this cycle. The Ace is all about beginnings. So we've got endings, beginnings, and this rest and rejuvenation in the middle. It's time to replenish something around you. And I look at this card really closely. It's quite strange. I don't know if you can see it. But right in here, it looks to me like the inside of his organs, they look like veins. Now, if that's on the right side of his body, that's around the liver or the gallbladder, the pancreas, the lungs. It could be one of the lungs as well. So some of you may find that particular area of the body needing attention or needing some white light or releasing of something. Now, the liver is where we hold on to anger and resentment. So some of you may find this more at the emotional level, something is being released or being activated. So for some of you, it might be a release of anger or resentment that you might have been holding on to. And for others, you might feel some of this spinning up or happening. And we talked about this guy over here possibly being some sort of activator that could make anyone agitated and resentful. So, again, two possibilities going on, but all of us can listen to the wise words of rest and rejuvenation. It's always beneficial for us. Walking away will be, again, very individual for you. Some of you, it's walking away from some sort of career or some direction you've been going in and starting something new or developing something new, expanding on it. Community, that is, well, we've had it, we've seen that you've been involved with other people, with the 8 of Wands, with the 5 of Wands, with the 3 of Pentacles. They're all other people. So there might be something about the community in your life that becomes quite important on either decisions that are made or time that you spend with these people. This is a good supportive card, and it shows that community plays a role in your life, especially from a very positive, uplifting perspective. There may be some time you spend with people that you haven't seen in a while. They could be extended family members, or they could be a new community that you are forming or merging with. And this could be around career again. And notice there's 3 of them, and up here in this card there were 3. So the number 3 might be quite relative or relevant. Wow, more money, more coins. That's like the Ace of Coins back again. So there's something about money for you guys definitely coming in. Now he could also be this one, the King of Pentacles. He's very similar. And what is going on here with the people and money? So someone could be involved in your money, giving you money, loaning you money, talking about your money, interacting with you and your money. It'll be interesting to see a little bit more for you guys, but pretty much now I think we're starting to repeat some of these messages here. The man holding the coin isn't usually talked about in terms of love relationships, but he could for some of you. This is for Aries. What else would you like to say? I've got the cards upside down, so I'll just turn them up the right way. Aries. Too many. Anyhow, we'll do it very briefly. The World, anxiety, 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, and patience. That's interesting. I was just out earlier this morning and I noticed a beautiful angel in a shop and I picked it up, and it was Archangel Uriel. So Uriel comes to us especially very good in times of business or money or talking in groups of people at seminars, or when you are being spoken to, or when you have a conference, or when there are negotiations or delegations with groups of people. So Uriel, take Archangel Uriel with you, coming in with the 7th ray, the purple energy through the crown chakra. Also very enlightening for thoughts, ideas, concepts, spirituality, connectedness to the cosmic energy, to understanding all that is. We have got the World, which is like it's a card that's saying to you the world is your oyster in many ways. Even though it's quite a dark looking card, you are down here looking up with many possibilities and options. I do think it would almost appear as if it were the eclipse coming. You know, this is the sun hitting the side of the earth, if you like, if you were looking at it from the moon. So it could also be talking about the ecliptical period in time where we get ideas, or something is opened up, or something is activated within us. You received a little bit of the anxiety. A lot of people are suffering from anxiety, as it so happens in today's age, because there's a lot going on. There's a lot we're working through. At many different levels: the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, the soul level journey, groups, society changing, the things going on in the background of society. So anxiety can be beneficial if we don't allow it to drain us, but if we utilize it in finding solutions, it can be very beneficial for us. He just brings in a little bit of this feeling over here with this guy. He would create anxiety. You did get, for the final card from that deck, the Patience card, and this is all about timing. I notice it's got 10 on it as such. So that would actually be in October, the 10th of the 10th. And I'm doing the reading today on the 8th of the 10th, nearly the 10th. So whether or not there's some synchronicity in the 10th of the 10th or the 11th of the 11th for you guys, or whether this is more about having some patience in seeing some of these events cohesively come together so that they form the action that you're looking for, especially if you are wanting, you know, to move out of a final step and move forward. But that was the very last message, was patience. And patience to me is about galactic timing, and sometimes that means that if you have a timing issue, you have to just wait it out a little bit. I realise we've gone on a little bit long, so just 2 cards that have jumped out from the Animal Oracle deck, the Spirit Guide deck. Rabbit Spirit, wow, now is a lucky time. And Parrot Spirit, watch your words. So we talked about the luck at the very beginning, and I said to you there was luck in the air for you guys, and we'd seen a lot of it with the things like the Pentacles, the job, Pentacle 1 up here, you know, money coming in, this man with the money. Watch your words was definitely this one around here when there's 5 people combating for something. And remember I said dress appropriately, well, also use your words appropriately. And we've seen a lot of blue in your reading with the blue colours, and that is about communication and talking and listening. So you have got some of that to be cautious with in the month of November as well. And I think it could be around relationships, because this is a reading that has a lot of people in it. So if you want your relationships to work smoothly and run well, a lot of it's about listening and balancing things out and choosing appropriately in many different facets, as well as your words. So those were your 2 beautiful spirit guides that came in for you. One of my very first pets I had ever when I was a young girl was a rabbit, and he looked just like that, and his name was Bobby. He really was one of the dearest pets I have ever had. So I almost get the feeling that Bobby's energy is coming in, and I always felt very lucky when I had him as my pet rabbit. So now is a lucky time, guys. Grab that energy in the matrix of the cosmos out there and utilize it. So thanks again for listening to me, Aries, and for joining me. I love that you sub the channel. Please hit the notification button as well, and that way you can get all of my uploads. Check your moon and rising signs as well. And other than that, I wish you all a very lucky, love-filled November. Much love, everyone. Energy report for October. The main energy I'm picking up on is an emerald energy. It's coming in waves or pulses, and there's a lot of it. And it comes and goes a lot, quite fast, quite rapidly. So the emerald energy for some of you is about healing emotional status, and it's about delving into the past, and also about rebirth.
So once we've healed emotional trauma, we can often move forward. But this emerald energy has also got another component, which I'm calling the trickster energy. So it's like a lure, and it could be luring you into false emotions or false situations, false people possibly, that you get attached to or open up to or are intrigued with. Now, some of you may experience both forms of this emerald energy in October, the trickster energy or the healing energy. When the trickster energy is around, you could find it's very alluring, like an emerald stone, very attractive. So it might just pay to be on your toes in October. Be cautious about any tricksters around you, or even your emotions playing tricks on you. In terms of the healing energy, it could be quite profound, and it could be very much like a wave, like surging waves, like a surging tide, pulsing in and out, releasing sometimes, grabbing onto it. But I think when it releases, or when you feel it letting go and you think, oh, it's stopped, or I haven't resolved it completely, it's because it's going back to work on things again in the past, to go over, to create like a double healing, because the emerald essence is very, very powerful. Very powerful.